Hello and welcome back to Joey Sewy. My name is Jo and this is my channel. Today I sat down to have a huge sort out of my stash. You can hardly see any of it. This is just the neat stuff. There are bags on the floor, there's stuff on these cupboards behind me above them. I'll give you a quick look. And I'm going to do a separate video about sorting out my stash. But just before I go through and I sort everything out, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to be really brutal, I'm going to be really organised, I had an idea about doing a hashtag video. They're quite common and I find them so interesting because you find out about people. The first one I was aware of was the seamstress tag, which I did way back in either my second or third vlog, all about you and stuff like that. And what I would like to propose, and maybe no one will take it up, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you about my stuff anyway, is hashtag stash stories. So tell me about the stash that you have. It's a common affliction, masses and masses of fabric, way more than you could probably sew through in your whole lifetime, and certainly way more than you're going to sew through in the foreseeable future. Where did it all come from? And tell me about it, or tell other people about it. Doesn't have to be me. So there are 6 questions. You can add in your own if you want to. Freestyle it, I don't care. There are 6 questions about your stash and I'm going to answer them for myself, for your curiosity and delectation right now. So question number 1, which piece of fabric has been in your stash the longest? I had to think long and hard about this and I came up with, I think it's this. It's a pink, magenta, fuchsia, I don't know, satin. There is still a lot of it. I seem to remember being encouraged to buy 10 metres of it, a lot. Way too much. Who needs 10 metres of that unless you're the costume designer for something crazy? I think I bought it, well okay, how long has it been in my stash? Which piece has been in my stash the longest? How long have I had this? I think I might have had it getting on for 20 years. Yeah. Moment of silence for that one. 20 years. I think I bought it for curtains. It's not curtain fabric. In one of the first houses that I lived in. Yeah, I think I had this vision for white and pink curtains. In fact, I think I used it for curtains, but the drops were so long. It was a really high ceilinged house. I think the drops were like 3.5 metres. Yeah, so I still have it. Whether it's going to make it through the next cull, I am not convinced. I also have this, which comes from a different house but similar sort of age, blue voile, also bought with the intention of curtains, and I reckon this predates the pink one. I think this might be more than 20 years old. Yeah. So there you go, all my dirty laundry out in public. I've got fabric in my stash for 20 years. I know that some of you will be able to beat that. Not a competition, but go on, tell us about it. Okay, so if that's the longest, what is your newest piece of fabric? Well, mine is still in the bag. I was so sure I was going to sew it fast. I haven't even folded it up and put it on my shelves. And I am going to sew it fast. I bought 2 pieces of fabric 4 weeks ago. I think it's 3. And I've sewn one of them already. And this one won't be very long. But I promised myself that before I could sew anything else, I was sorting this stash of fabric out. So that's why I'm here. But this is my newest piece of fabric. It's a knit. So that's one side. And then curiously, the other side is really different. Look, that's the other side. I think I bought 1.5 meters with the intention of making an Astoria jumper from Seamwork or something similar like that, because it's quite a complex pattern. And I didn't want to do anything too fancy, so it's for making a sweater or a jumper, depending on where you live. and that is my newest piece of fabric, and that is about 3 weeks old. So baby fabric, ancient dinosaur fabric. Okay, so question number 2 was, what is your newest piece of fabric? Moving on to question number 3. What is the best story behind one of your pieces of fabric? Best story. Well, I'm gonna pick out 2. One of them I'm probably gonna cover in another question. So this fabric here, pink wool, has a good story behind it, but I'm gonna cover that a couple of questions on. So I reckon, you see, a lot of my pieces of fabrics have got stories behind them, but I think I'll go with this one. It's barely even counts as fabric, really, does it? It is crocheted cotton, I think, a piece of crocheted cotton, and my intention is that I'm going to make a cushion cover with that. So I'll line it with darker fabric, for example, not what I'm wearing, but you know, can you see how you put darker fabric behind it, and then that'll make quite a nice cushion cover, if that's your style. So the story behind this is that it came from Stockholm. Not this year, last year, in August, my husband and I went to Stockholm, and this came from a charity shop in Stockholm. And I went out on my own one day and went across the river, although there were lots of, they're not really rivers in Stockholm because it's all actually the sea, but there's lots of islands, and because of the shape of Sweden, very crinkly edges. I went out on my own and I went wandering around a part of the city that we hadn't been in before, which was called St. Paul's, and it was our last day, and I'd not been all that impressed by the fabric before that point, although I had bought some. But on the last day I went across to St. Paul's for the first time, and that was where all the craft stuff was, and that was where I found an amazing knitting shop, and that was where all the vintagey second-hand shops were. And for me, when I'm on holiday, or when I visit somewhere new anywhere, it doesn't have to be holiday, I'm much more interested in that sort of thing. You know, I want to bring back something that isn't, it doesn't have to be expensive, but nobody else could have brought that back because there's only one, because it's in a vintage shop or because it's in a charity shop, and then it means something to me. So that's the story behind this. Question number 4. What's the most strokeable bit of fabric you've got? Oh, we all like to stroke our fabric. So mine's a bit mad, but it's very strokeable. Look at this. Who needs giraffe fur? I don't know. But, oh, it's soft, because literally it's fur. I bought this 5 years ago, maybe 4.5 years ago, thinking that I would make a top for my son, like a hooded top, and he'd be the cutest thing in the world. And if I had made it then, when he was 2.5, it would have been the cutest thing in the world. Now he's 7. Do you know what? He probably would still wear it, but I'm not wasting my time making it. I did, however, recently use some of this to actually make a giraffe. So it sat there for ages, and I didn't think I'd ever get to use it. But I did use some to make a giraffe head, like a stuffed head, and I've written a little thing on my blog, so because I've started writing a blog as well as doing a vlog. I'll link to it down below, and you can see some photos of the giraffe that I made for a friend out of this fabric. So that is the most strokeable fabric I have got, because it's literally furry. So with my next question, I'm going to come back to this pink fabric. So question number 5 is, what are you most excited or most nervous to use in your stash? So that's where we come to this baby. This is pure wool, pure new wool. I think I've got 2 meters of it, and it's from the Scottish island of Islay. Okay, so when they gave me this, we got it from the Islay Wool and Milk. Can you see that? And if you ever buy Harris tweed, you get little labels when you buy the tweed as well to put on your items, which I think is really cute. So yes, there is a woolen mill in Islay, and they weave wool, and there was loads of it. We went along, and they've got all. It's tiny. It's tiny. They, you know, it's not a massive old industrial mill like you might find in Lancashire or Yorkshire, where I'm from. The Islay woolen mill. We went on holiday 2 summers ago, and it's a tiny little mill, but it has proper old-fashioned weaving equipment, really loud. And they take the yarn. Some of it is yarn from sheep that are also live in Islay, grown in Islay, but they take wool from all over the place, but they spin it and they weave it. Mostly they weave it in Islay. So it, you know, it's fantastic. And what I loved even more than being able to buy some wool from the place where it was actually woven was the fact that the guy that now runs the mill is from Bradford, which is where I grew up, and has a huge heritage industry of wool and weaving. And I just thought it was amazing, that small world thing. You know, you go on holiday to somewhere quite remote, tiny little Scottish island, and you find someone from where you grew up who's working in the industry that parts of your family worked in. So this was quite expensive, especially for me. I think I paid about £50 for these 2 metres, possibly slightly more. Might have been something like 30 quid a metre, because it's pure wool. I love the colour. I thought when I bought it I might make a coat. I think I've gone off that idea. But I think this is why I'm nervous and excited to use it, because I really love it. It's beautiful fabric. I'm going to show you it again. It's beautiful fabric, colours that I really love, got a real meaning for me, and so I'm terrified to make something rubbish because then I'll have ruined it. I'm thinking I might make a skirt, because I need some skirts and less likely to go wrong in terms of fit and stuff if I make a skirt. But it would also make a really awesome kind of pinafore dress. But I haven't really seen a pattern that I like. So I am trying to build up the courage at the moment to make a skirt out of that. But as you can tell from my hesitancy, yeah, this is definitely what I am nervous to use. But I will love it when I've used it, because it's sat there and I've stroked it a lot, and that's fine. But I don't buy fabric to stare at it. I buy fabric to do something with it. Although, you know, the stash behind me wouldn't seem to say that. Apparently I buy it just to fold it and stare at it. Anyway, okay, last question. Unless you can think of some good ones to add on at the end, in which case please ask. Last question, number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is what is the most ridiculous fabric you've got? There's quite a lot that I could possibly choose from, and it depends how you go ridiculous, whether it's just funny or why on earth have you got that at all, why is it there? Oh, I don't know, there's quite a lot of ridiculous. I've got this is IKEA cat fabric. Now I bought this is option 1. I bought this with the idea of, I can't remember whether I bought it to make curtains, because you have to buy the fabric in England anyway. You had to buy it as curtains, as ready-made curtains, but they were just tab top curtains. In fact, I can feel on here, they were just tab top curtains. Can you see? So essentially you were buying a length of fabric that happened to have that on top. It's 100% cotton, it's printed. I love cats. I just think the print's awesome. Take a moment for the print. Ta-da! But I had the questionable idea of making a dress with it, and in fact I did make a dress with it, and I went out in public in the dress, and I'm not sure it was my best idea ever. And now I bought, why did I buy 12 metres of this stuff? I don't know. So I bought 2 packs of curtains, but I think I am actually going to make a bedspread out of them for my son because he likes it. We all like the fabric. I'm not questioning the fabric. I'm just questioning that I should have made a dress with it. I have seen online there was somebody who'd made a dress and she looked awesome. Yeah, but I didn't feel like that. I didn't carry it off. So partly because it's got that baggage, I'm not going to be making any more dress type stuff out of it. Ooh, cat that way. And it's not 100% suitable. You see, my weakness with fabric is I quite often try and fit a square peg in a round hole. I don't use fabric that is ideal for the pattern and it doesn't go well. Duh, there's a surprise. If we're going to go any more ridiculousness, well, I've still got some of the leather left over from the sofa that I ripped up and I made my bag with. That's quite ridiculous, although ended well. So that one didn't end badly. And I would say this one here. Are you ready? Did you just see that? Oh yeah, baby. What's this? Ha ha. What even is that? I'm not actually sure what it is. It's plasticky. It's gold. It's on a jersey background, but it doesn't stretch. You could probably even, I'm just looking at it, you could probably even peel the plastic bit off the jersey, although why you'd want to, I don't know. It was given to me and it was kept folded, which to be fair I have kept it folded, and it kind of perishes along the folds. And quite, it might actually be the definition of ridiculous. I have absolutely no intention of ever wearing anything made out of this unless I make a costume for myself as a gold robot. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I use to justify keeping stuff like this in my stash, and frankly that's insane. So yeah, I have that in my stash. I'm not sure it's going to be staying when I do my cull, but do we give that one the prize? Is that the prize for the most ridiculous thing in my stash? Yeah, I think it is. And if you can top that, then well done, and I want to see it. Because I would love to see that, and you'd make me feel a lot better. And I'm not the only mad one in the world. So there you go, 6 questions. Those were my stash stories. I really hope you share yours too, because I would love to hear all about them. Stay tuned on my channel, for very soon I will be doing a video of I am going to do it. I am going to declutter my stash. It's going to happen very soon on this channel. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I'm so glad that you're there. I'm so glad that you're enjoying my videos, and I hope you come again next time. Bye!